Hi, everyone, and welcome to this episode, this Habs post-game show here on Langer at the Mic Live. The Montreal Canadiens, they're going back to the Bell Center with a 2-0 series lead against the Winnipeg Jets. And oh boy, this was honestly, first of all, right off the top, got to address the fact that thank God Jake Evans is in the hotel where he didn't have to be hospitalized from the hit on Wednesday, and that he's doing well, and that the NHL Department of Player Safety, for a rare time, got it right by suspending Mark Scheifele for 4 games, and he was up there in the stands, not liking what he was seeing, deservedly so. And also, I will say a couple of other things though before we get into the game tonight. So it's one thing to be mad about Mark Scheifele. It's one thing to be just be mad at him and want the Habs to retaliate if or when he comes back in the series in Game 6. But don't bully and assault his family on the internet. Like they have no right, or there's no purpose, or there's no don't go to that level of inhumanity. Don't put yourself down to that level where you're going to bully his family on the internet. So that's pretty much all I have to say on that. But I will say this also. The Winnipeg Jets, once again, without Paul Stastny, now without Mark Scheifele, and without Dylan DeMello, the Montreal Canadiens, they did what they had to do in winning this hockey game. 1-0, just 1-0, a shorthanded goal from Tyler Toffoli. That's all that the Habs needed to win this game. And they're going to the Bell Center with a 2-0 lead in the series. And in front of fans for the second time. So I truly believe that, like I've said before, that home ice advantage in the playoffs under normal circumstances doesn't matter. But when you have these guys that have been playing an entire season without fans in the stands, it makes a difference when they all of a sudden start playing with fans in the stands. So look, like the Jets, they're in for a tough right now. They're going to have to play a really, really good road hockey game in Game 3. They could maybe get Mark Scheifele back. They could possibly get him back, and that would be a huge boost to their top 6. But good luck scoring on Carey Price right now, because Price, once again, dialed in tonight. A 30-save shutout, I believe. Yeah, 30-save shutout. And just, he wasn't really challenged for the first 40 minutes of the game. Like the Habs defensively played really, really well for the first 40 minutes of the game. But when crap started hitting the fan in the third period there, Carey Price, as usual, I will say this, the only Carey Price was perfect tonight, 30 saves on 30 shots. But the only thing I would say is that his rebound control kind of got away from him a little bit late in that hockey game, but he was still perfect. He still was excellent, especially on the even on rebounds, like the Dylan DeMello shot right there, like where I think Price made the first save on a shot from the point, and he gave up a bad rebound to not Dylan DeMello. It was Derek Forbort, who was on Price's right side. Price got right into position to absolutely rob Derek Forbort on a follow-up rebound opportunity. So honestly, just even though the Habs only scored 1 goal, and the Habs were sluggish in the first period, don't get me wrong, the Canadiens, and I'll get your comments in a sec, guys. Canadiens were sluggish in the first period, and they got a couple of decent looks. The Stahl, Perry, Armia line, especially early on, went to work again. But yeah, and it was Perry with the best chance early on, just could not quite bury it on the rebound in the first period. But what I love what the Habs are doing in these playoffs compared to the regular season. What was one of the biggest issues the Habs had in the regular season compared to the playoffs was that they couldn't break out of their zone. They turned pucks over, resulting in scoring chances especially against the Winnipeg Jets. That's how the Habs have just gotten killed by the Winnipeg Jets this year. But one thing the Habs are doing really, really well in these playoffs and in the series, particularly through 2 games, is whenever they turn pucks over, whenever they give up odd man rushes, they transition very, very well to defend. Couple of examples of that. Ben Sherratt in the first period with a beautiful stick play, a beautiful stick check on Kyle Connor to take away a 2-on-1 opportunity. I think it was Pierre-Luc Dubois on the other side. But guess what? That wasn't really a 2-on-1 opportunity because Brett Kulak did a tremendous job back checking and covering Pierre-Luc Dubois in the middle, which made it more like a 2-on-2 than a 2-on-1, which allowed for or which forced Kyle Connor to hesitate and decide, am I going to pass, am I going to shoot? And then Ben Sherratt perfectly executed his poke check to deny Kyle Connor of that scoring opportunity on the 2-on-1 in the first period. There's another play in the second period where Corey Perry, it was Shea Weber, I think, tried to flip it out, got turned over at the blue line, but Corey Perry jumped right on Andrew Kopp. I think it was Andrew Kopp. I think it was, number 9, Andrew Kopp. Just completely neutralized them right away and quickly before he could get a good shot on Carey Price, neutralized the mistake, rebounded well, and the Habs broke out of their zone. Nothing happened. Also, the penalty kill. Penalty kill, once again, flawless tonight, and obviously got the shorthanded goal from Tyler Toffoli. Like I said on Twitter and on my Habs intermission shows, Tyler Toffoli and Corey Perry are two guys on the Canadiens that are so good at just holding the puck on their stick, not just holding the puck and delaying their play, but also just in doing so in a way that they protect the puck, but also confuse the players on the ice, confuse the defenders, and confuse the goaltender. And that's how Tyler Toffoli buried that shorthanded goal. And Tyler Toffoli freaking hit the post late in the game there with an empty netter, but thankfully the face-off was in the offensive zone because it was, who was the Jets defenseman that absolutely robbed Philip Deneau there with the diving save there? It was, my notes are here right in front of me. It was Pionk, Neil Pionk. Great diving save there on Philip Deneau to prevent the empty net goal. But at that point, 20 seconds left, they had a face-off in their own defensive zone. The Jets did, and at that point, the game's pretty much over. Habs closed it out, did a phenomenal job. But yeah, the penalty kill, Shea Weber. So Shea Weber did a great job also where the Jets, they had a chance again with Andrew Kopp from the slot. It was like a tic-tac-toe down low out in front of Andrew Kopp, but Shea Weber played his position perfectly, blocked it. And again, talking about shot blocks, it was Artturi Lehkonen and Brendan Gallagher on almost the carbon copy of the same play where the Jets won the faceoff back. It was Pierre-Luc Dubois winning it back cleanly to Blake Wheeler. But Brendan Gallagher and Artturi Lehkonen on two separate occasions right away noticed it, made a beeline for the shooting lane. Artturi Lehkonen was a little bit, was roughed up on that shot block, and Brendan Gallagher got right into the lane, but that could have been a dangerous scoring opportunity for the Jets off the faceoff that were neutralized by Gallagher and Artturi Lehkonen. All right, I'm going to get to your comments now. Randy, love the photo. I mean, thank you. Just 2-0 series lead, but also just a little fist bump there. Jets came out hitting, but lines did not click. I mean, the Jets there, if there's one thing I guess I am a little bit concerned about for the Habs in this series is that the Habs are the ones dictating the punishment on the Leafs in round 1, but now it seems to be the Jets dictating the punishment on the Habs in round 2. The Jets out hit the Habs 49-20, but that also kind of means the Habs had the puck a little bit more in this series so far through 2 games than they did in the Leaf series. So, but over the longevity of a series, that's why the Habs, with a 2-0 lead at the Bell Center, they got to come back to, if this series comes back to Winnipeg, it's got to be 3-1 and not 2-2. It has to be at worst, or just go for the sweep, because we saw the Leafs wear down in a 7-game series of the Habs just crushing them. So you got to hope the Habs don't wear down with the Jets getting 50 hits a game on them in this series. Randy, hoping Petrie, Edmondson, and lost the spot there. Edmondson, Lehkonen, and others shake off their minor injuries during the game. Yeah, Petrie took a puck right to the chin. But what I was confident about or happy about is that on the bench, Jeff Petrie looked to his left. I don't know who he was looking at, but it just gave him a little, very, very cool, casual, like, I'm good type of nod. So I like that from Jeff Petrie. I hope he's okay. And I'm pretty sure he was. By the way, let's look at the minutes of the defensemen tonight. Shea Weber, 25 minutes, perfectly fine for a playoff game. Makes a difference, 25-27 over the long term. Petrie, 24. Edmondson, 23. Sherratt, 25. And then the two guys, Kulak and Gustafsson. Kulak, 9 minutes. Kulak, 10 minutes, but I guess better than 6 minutes like in Game 6 in the Leaf series. I think they played around 6 minutes in Game 1 as well. So, again, just try. And the Habs are doing a very good job sheltering their minutes, by the way. I like the way Gustafsson played. I like the way Kulak played. And the Habs are doing a really good job not playing Kulak and Gustafsson together, but pairing them with Edmondson and Weber and Sherratt and Petrie on different occasions. Randy, again, what do you think of Scheifele and Maurice's explanation on the hit? Honestly, I don't really want to talk too much about Scheifele and about the Scheifele hit so much because like it's in the past, the suspension was dealt. He's paying for the consequences of his, or he's suffering the consequences, of his actions. And I'll just say that Scheifele and Paul Maurice, they're trying to defend the actions. That's all. It would have been nice for the Jets to show a little bit more sympathy towards Jake Evans and the Montreal Canadiens in terms of what happened, just like the Habs did to John Tavares. That would have been nice. But honestly, who cares? Because the best way to punish the Jets right now and punish Mark Scheifele is to win this series in 4 or 5 games and send them on the golf course just like they did to the Toronto Maple Leafs. So at this point, that's all I care about, and that's what the Habs should care about. And even if Mark Scheifele if this series does go to 6 games and Mark Scheifele plays in Game 6 at the Bell Center, one team is facing elimination and the other team is trying to close out the series. So while Scheifele will probably have to fight a Weber or an Edmondson or whatever, just because that's the code, the two teams will be more focused on bigger tasks at hand in that situation in Game 6. So honestly, again, don't really want to bring up the Scheifele hit again. Just it's in the past. He got dealt or he suffered the consequences, paid the consequences of his actions. But I don't know. I can't say that today. And let's just move on. And Lehkonen did a great job filling in for Jake Evans tonight. Not to take anything away from Jake Evans and to take any attention of hoping that he recovers and is okay, both from a health perspective and from a hockey perspective. But Artturi Lehkonen did a really good job filling in for Jake Evans on the Gallagher-Danault line tonight. Where am I at? Sheldon. Scheifele, who got wrecked by Evans, not the rest of Scheifele clan. Going after his family is, well, you said exactly, just that already covered at the top. Randy, Habs need to work on their 2-on-1 breakaways. Okay, so I will say this. Eric Stahl needs to work on his breakaway. Eric Stahl needs to work on his skating and his breakaway because Stahl had 2 breakaways, got back checked on the first time and just completely missed the net the second time. So Eric Stahl needs to work on his breakaways. But I will say this, on those 2-on-1s that the Habs had in the third period there with Byron and Suzuki, nothing to say about that. Perfectly executed, or 99% well executed except for scoring. Connor Hellebuyck had to make 2 great saves because Byron, he had Anderson and he took all the time and space that he had and decided, do I pass? No. Okay. I'm going to make it look like I'm going to pass and then shoot at the last second, which works. That's how you score on goalie sometimes, by hiding what you're going to do until the last second and then shooting. But Connor Hellebuyck, to his credit, made a really great save on that one. And same thing with Suzuki. Took the time and space that he had, tried to make the pass, wasn't there, went for a good shot, and Hellebuyck had to make a really good save by squeezing that puck underneath his glove. So honestly, I've no problem with how the Habs handled those 2-on-1s. Just Hellebuyck made 2 really great saves. But I will say Hellebuyck, if I was critical of Campbell in that first series, Hellebuyck has given some opportunities for rebounds in this series as well through 2 games, just like the Gallagher goal in Game 1, just like a couple of instances where it bounced off his chest and there were rebounds there in Game 2 tonight. So just keep shooting at Connor Hellebuyck. I will say the big difference between Hellebuyck and Campbell is because Hellebuyck has the experience of playing the playoffs. I trust Connor Hellebuyck to make the big save in the big moment more than I do Jack Campbell, as evidenced by Gallagher's goal between the wickets in Game 7. But we're not going to talk about Campbell and the Leafs here. Talking about the Habs being leading 2-0 in this series, coming back home to the Bell Center. Roger, well said about his family. The suspension speaks for itself, and the incident needs to be left behind. Exactly, that's it. Randy, Lehkonen looked like the correct choice instead of Tatar. Caulfield finally shooting the puck. Thank you for that, Randy, for bringing up Cole Caulfield there, because Cole Caulfield tonight, I think, led the team in shots he had 5 shots on net through 2 periods, and Kotkaniemi caught up to him tonight. Kotkaniemi was doing a great job shooting the puck tonight as well. But so there were 2 different plays or 2 different shots by Kotkaniemi in this game that were almost like him kind of learning from his mistake, because there was a 2-on-1 in the second period that, like, a short, quick, like, this is a 2-on-1 right here, right now, and you have to make a play quickly type of 2-on-1, not one that led in from the red line. And Kotkaniemi took a little bit too much time that wasn't there And I think it was, who was it that was on the back check on the, who was the Jets player on the back check there? I didn't write it down. But anyway, so Jets back checker neutralized Kotkaniemi's shot. Kotkaniemi made the right decision to shoot, but he just took a little bit too long to get there, which he corrected in the third period, where I think it was also a 2-on-1 with, I want to say, Paul Byron. And this time Kotkaniemi did kind of what Paul Byron did. Quick little, fake shot or fake pass, but then right at the last second, shoot 5-hole. Hellebuyck had to make a really good save there as well. So Kotkaniemi liked to see that, learning his lesson there. Both Caulfield and Kotkaniemi had 5 shots on net, and every time Caulfield shoots the puck on net, goalies are challenged to make that save and make the save cleanly and control the rebound. So just like Randy said there, Caulfield's got to keep shooting the puck on net. And I do like Lehkonen in over Tatar because I like Lehkonen's guaranteed grit, guaranteed hustle, guaranteed defensive responsibility, guaranteed just aggressiveness, finishing hits. And he only had 1 hit tonight, but still was just annoying on the forecheck. Created a turnover for Kotkaniemi on one of Kotkaniemi's shots there. But I prefer all of that, which you're going to get from Lehkonen, but over what you don't know what you're going to get from Thomas Tatar. You can maybe get a couple of skill plays that lead to a couple of scoring chances or a couple of even goals, or you could get Tatar completely disappearing off the face of the earth. So I'd rather have Lehkonen, especially while the Habs are in full control of the series. I'd rather have Lehkonen in the lineup over Tatar, definitely. Sarah A., great Leaf fan there. Sarah A., congrats on game 2 and a great sport there. Thank you there, Sarah. Randy N., again, 2 shorthand goals so far in these playoffs after getting 9 in the regular season, which has been a trend all regular season that the Habs have been looking for offense even when shorthanded. But the big difference in these playoffs is that they're actually killing penalties now, whereas in the regular season, they're below 80% on the penalty kill. But in these playoffs, they've been absolutely money on the penalty kill. Randy Dubois looked normal. Honestly, Pierre-Luc Dubois, I think that's also, again, we got to credit Deneau and Gallagher and Arturi Lehkonen, who were given that responsibility of shutting down Dubois, I think it's Dubois, Wheeler, and Connor. So that credit to Deneau as well. But yeah, Pierre-Luc Dubois, look, I don't want to, knock on wood and because he could come to life. He could come back to his bubble form that he was at against the Toronto Maple Leafs last year. But I think Jets fans should definitely expect better from Pierre-Luc Dubois. Absolutely. And always look for Connor on the cross one-timer. Seems like every game the Habs played in Winnipeg this year, they've been burned by a one-timer goal from Kyle Connor, but they did a great job at neutralizing that in this game tonight in game 2. Great point about the hits. Randy, again, great point about the hits and Habs having the puck more. Thank you. Sheldon, as Price smart using his head on that last save. Was it intentional that he kind of nodded his head into it? I don't know. I can't really say. Sometimes just the puck hits you in the head as a goaltender and you just got to eat it. So, honestly, it looked like it was kind of smart because if he was nodding his head into it, that was maybe a sign that he was trying to control his rebound. So possibly. And Randy, again, 2-0 heading home to the best fans in the world. Anderson trying so hard. Again, Randy trying so hard, but is snake bitten for a goal. So I have a feeling that Josh Anderson is playing a little bit hurt right now. I really do, because he hasn't been quite the same since game 1. Tonight, he's a guy that tries to shoot and tries to hit anything that moves. Tonight, Josh Anderson, in only 13 minutes of ice time, no goals, no assists, even no penalty minutes, one shot on goal, and no hits. So, yeah, Josh Anderson has not been the same player since game 1, which if the Habs are going to be in for it a little bit tougher, they'll need more from Josh Anderson. So, but that also speaks to the fact that the Habs can roll 4 lines and have really good depth because they got other guys stepping up. Tonight it was Tyler Toffoli. It was, as usual, Deneau, Gallagher, and Lehkonen stepping up defensively. Caulfield, Suzuki, and Toffoli on that line getting some good looks offensively. Perry, Stahl, and Armia getting good work in the offensive zone, cycling, getting some good chances, especially early in games. Also the Kotkaniemi, Byron, and Anderson line. Mostly driven right now by Kotkaniemi and Byron, but again, guys are stepping up. Guys are playing a great team game. And even if they have to win a 1-0 grimy, ugly, low scoring, low event hockey game, who cares? It's the playoffs. They got the job done. They're going home to the Bell Center with a 2-0 series lead. But I will say this, though. 2006. I hate to be a bearer of bad news here, but I will say 2006 Habs had a 2-0 series lead against the Carolina Hurricanes coming back home to the Bell Center against Eric Staal, by the way, and they lost that series 4-2. 2011, Habs had a 2-0 series lead coming back home to the Bell Center against the Boston Bruins. Lost that series in 7 because they lost back-to-back games on home ice in Game 3 and 4. Bruins won Game 5. Habs won Game 6, but the Bruins won Game 7. We all know what happened there. So the Habs have to make it like 2014, where against the Tampa Bay Lightning, they had a 2-0 series lead coming home, and they swept the Tampa Bay Lightning. Habs, put it this way, best way to punish Mark Scheifele and the Winnipeg Jets is to not let Mark Scheifele play in this series again by ending this in 4 or 5 games. A couple of other comments here before we wind down here on this Langer at the Mike Habs postgame show. As usual, leave your comments in the comment section, either live or after the fact, and give me a big thumbs up if you enjoy my commentary. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at Mike Langer. A couple more comments here though. Randy, do you feel that Perry is getting run at? I mean, yeah, there was a cross check, I think, to his face tonight. There was a penalty. I think there was an interference penalty tonight on Perry. There was also in Game 1 on the Staal goal where Perry dished it to Eric Staal. He took a high hit. Well, I will say this, though. Perry is just, every time he goes down to the tunnel, we all get anxiety because it's like, oh, no, Perry down to the tunnel. Is he hurt? Is he hurt? But he always comes back. I just think for the type of player that Corey Perry is, like, yeah, he will get run at a couple of times. So it is what it is. But he's a veteran. He's a guy who's smart enough to defend for himself. So as long as I guess he doesn't get hurt, yeah, just it is what it is. But also, you know what? Maybe he'll draw a penalty. It'll take the Jets off their game, because if they're going to try to hit and run and take runs at Canadians players, well, you know, so and lose, well, so be it. As long as the Habs win, that's the bottom line. And stay healthy as much as possible, of course, but win first. Sheldon, yes, unfortunately, that was also, I hate to give some Habs fans some PTSD here, but that 2006 series was the Justin Williams high stick on Saku Koivu and taking him out of that series, and that definitely was the turning point of that series. Randy, and great memory on, yeah, I don't know, especially for me, I find like between, I want to say like 2006 until like 2015 or until 2014, like I have like a photographic memory of Habs playoff memories. It got a little fuzzy around 2017 there and the last couple of years. But just, I don't know, my memory from my childhood memory of watching Habs playoff games is photographic for whatever reason. Alex Bernard, Perry is strong with the mind game. He will be okay. Just like I said, Game 1 of that was proof, as Alex Bernard is saying. Yeah, like I said, as long as Perry doesn't get hurt, honestly, just if the Jets are more concerned with taking runs at Corey Perry and even the Habs defense than winning, then so be it. So yeah. That's all, honestly, we have for tonight's show. Again, as usual, thank you so much for tuning in. Give a big thumbs up on this video. Subscribe to my channel here on youtube.com/Langer at the Mike. Give me a follow on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at Mike Langer. I go live at the intermission every show or every Habs intermission these playoffs on my Twitter account at Mike Langer. So stay tuned for that. And yeah, thank you for tuning in to this Montreal Canadiens postgame show. Habs going back with a 2-0 series lead at the Bell Center in front of their fans. And just let's hope they get the job done. But thank you for tuning into this Habs postgame show here on Langer at the Mic. I look forward to seeing you again next time.